Hello again, and welcome back to Atomic Heart. We are starting part 2, right where we left off. We're going to exit out of that save room to the door that's to the right of the save station, and straight ahead is Chirper number 6. You want to pick that up and then go to the right and loot everything. Remember, we need as many materials as possible for upgrades and also for creating new weapons. Once we finish there, we're going to exit through the double doors that are to the left of the Chirper. And this is the room where the large robotic snake-looking machine knocked us down earlier when we met with the female.
But where the hell is it?
So here we're going to cross around the hole in the floor and use our special power to see through the wall, and we can see where the wires are going. This lock cannot be picked. We need to actually find the key. So we're going to have to go back to the original area and up the stairs.
Unfortunately not. But I can set a waypoint you can use to find the key. It should be in a nearby workspace.
You're finally starting to come in handy.
As we come through here, we're going to go to the left first. This area
But take care. There's a dandelion
has
security
our
camera
very
up ahead.
first
If it
dandelion.
detects us, this
These
place will be
are
swarming with robots.
Take it easy. I can always distract
cameras.
you by
I guess they're
throwing
like
something and knock it out with an
CCTV
EMP.
cameras. And if you get caught on them, it will send several robots your way to try and dispatch you. So we need to take care of that before going into the room. So as we pass through this bathroom area, we're going to crouch down to try to scan that dandelion. We need to add that to our list of enemies. As soon as we scan it, we want to get rid of it. We use the shock. It'll disable it momentarily so that we can break it. You can shoot it also, but I do find conserving ammo to be pretty smart, especially in the beginning of the game. Enemies are a lot easier to get rid of in the beginning, so make use of that axe and save your bullets whenever you can. There is a Vova, one of the robotic men with the mustaches. They're called Vovas. We're going to take care of him before we move on, just because he's a nuisance. And you'll see they dodge back away from you when they can see that you're charging up and you're getting ready to swing. They'll jump back. So sometimes right when you're ready to swing, you may want to move forward. Okay, so we're coming into this administration room here, that once we go down the little hall past the dandelion, it's going to be on the left. And we want to loot everything that we possibly can from this room. I don't know why this marker is here. I can't really figure it out. It seems to be there every playthrough. But there's... I mean, you're going to find the key here on the desk. Make sure you pick that up. But that marker is not really near this. So I'm not sure why it's in here.
Yep. But
Anyway, we're going to exit out of this room and go down the hallway that is in front of us. But don't go all the way, because there is a dandelion camera on the wall to the right there. So we want to go to the left through this hole in the wall into this little office.
What'll happen if word gets out about this?
And again, we've got about 1,000,000 things to loot in here. The looting process can be a little tedious, but it is very important because we really need everything that we're looting.
He wants the entire world to stop using our robots.
So make sure to grab every single thing that you possibly can before we move on. There is a chest here as well. Don't forget to loot that. Here on this desk is Chirper number 7. We need this one, so don't forget it.
They say Monday begins on Saturday, but I'd like you to really take the weekend off. As you know, national policy. A great weekend.
I know you guys can hear that music. To me, it just sounds like Mass Effect. Anyway, we want to disable this dandelion camera. You can use the shock and then hit it with your axe to disable it. And at the end of this hall, there is another chest here. And once we get that, we can return the way that we came, back over to the first dandelion camera, back through the bathroom with the hole in the wall. We need to go all the way back to the door that has the large lock on it. And we're going to use that key that we just found to open up the door and get the elevator working again.
Hey, let's put a cookie in there. Yeah, even locks like cookies, right? Charles?
Yes?
Do you like cookies?
Ahem.
Now that was easy. Once we get this door open, there's going to be a very small
This is a
puzzle in
passive
here.
security system with a laser
Make sure you
relay.
grab all of
I've
the
seen stuff
items
like this
out
plenty
of the
times.
chest in front of
You need a
us.
color code.
And then there's a small little crate in here that we can loot as well.
You'll have to try
Not
to
too much
decipher it
else
using
in
logic.
this room. You can read the emails if you like.
Seriously?
And
Like I was
then
gonna
turn
stand here
around
until
on
it
this
turns
wall
off on
and we're
its
going to
own.
have a puzzle. And what we want to do is look at there are very small lights on the point to the left. You want to line up
Yeah,
the
power's
lines
on.
to where
Let's
the
head
blue
back.
line is in line with the blue dot that is on the point all the way to the left. It's very, very easy. It's almost insulting to call it a puzzle. It's so easy.
Well,
So from
Which one?
here, you
I
just choose
suggest
an
the
elevator.
one on
It
the
doesn't
right.
matter
in
which one
other
you
words,
choose.
you don't actually know. In that case, I'm taking the
Go
one
inside
on the left.
and we are going to take a little
I've
ride.
marked another waypoint for ease of navigation.
How dense do you think I am? I know where I need to go to complete my mission.
I was only trying to make things easy.
If you noticed, I took the elevator that goes to the right when you walk out of the door
For you.
from
You can
completing
make
the
things
elevator
easier
puzzle.
by getting off my grill.
So if you took the elevator to the right, we want to go to the left first. Go through this door. There's not a whole lot going on in here, but there are a few missable items that we cannot afford to miss. So
Hey, Chaz.
Charles.
in this
Yeah.
area,
So,
to
how'd
the
Petrov
left
get
is a
away?
save room,
There are
and to
more
the
soldiers
right
here than
is
civilians.
Some
just
people believe
an
that
area
Petrov
that
had
has
help.
lots
So he's
of
not alone.
loot.
But you said all his
So
partners were eliminated,
we're
right?
going to
Who else is
loot
there?
everything that
information
we
is
possibly
not yet
can
available.
in this
We only
room
have
and the
speculation,
adjacent
not
room
facts.
as well.
Well, I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
And once we have opened every single thing, we're going to go into that save room. Not quite so many things in this room to loot, but we still don't want to pass up any free items that we can get. So be sure to grab everything. There is a large chest in the middle of the room also. I know the looting process, it gets annoying sometimes, but in this, it seems like looting, there's a lot more of it in the Vavilov complex than once we get into the open world. There are still things to loot, yes, but there's a lot more combat, so it's not quite as tedious. So once we go in here, we're going to have a red chest on the floor. Open that, because that will give us blueprint number 2. We can now craft shotgun shells. And you can save if you like.
Saving data.
once we exit this area, we'll go back the way we came. Although I don't know why I went in here. We'll go back the way that we came, and we're going to go through the door directly opposite of where we are. This is actually going to progress us further toward the goal. If you remember, we came through this room earlier. There's a chest there to the left, and let's see, if you remember, that door was locked. This is from kind of sort of the very beginning of the Vavilov complex. To the right, there's a bathroom. We picked up a Chirper there.
Are you freaking deaf or something?
This is the door that was locked, and we're going to shock it to open up that door. That's just telling you that you can shock enemies, and it will freeze them in place for a few seconds to kind of give you some free hits. This room on the left, right when you walk in, the very first room on the left, it does have a few items that can be looted. I think they call these terminals pairs. There's a pair in here where you can read emails, and there's also a radio that we can play a tape.
Victor, honey, I missed you so much.
And it's actually the guy that we're looking for.
Sweet.
Talking to his girlfriend, the woman that we met right before the mini boss.
I took someone else's papers and pretended to be one of the doctors. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that I'm here now, sweetheart. And I brought the equipment you asked for.
Sechenov threw me in here.
It doesn't matter anymore. I'll get you out of here. Tell me what to do.
You'll have to cause a tiny malfunction in Collective. Don't worry. It's just a couple of software glitches. I've got like-minded...
There, I was just kind of standing around listening to the tape. I did make a couple of cuts. You can listen to it if you like on your own playthrough. But it is quite a long conversation, so I made a few cuts. Once we exit the room, there will be a Vova here that we'll have to take care of. You can lure them back into this hall. This hall is cleared now. See what I mean? They kind of freeze up a little bit when you shock them. So take care of him, then go back in, and there should be, I believe, 2 more enemies in that room that we're going to have to dispatch. As you can see, directly on our left is a save room, but I want to get rid of this Vova first, just to make sure that the hallway is completely clear when we exit. And as you can see, especially early game, if you have 2 charged hits with your axe and then shock, that will get rid of the Vovas. Here we have blueprint number 3.
Authorization.
It's going to be inside the red chest in the save room.
P3. Access granted.
So here, when we go into these upgrades, you do not have to do what I do. You can upgrade your weapons as you see fit. Everyone's playstyle is going to be a little bit different, and not everyone's going to like the axe as much as I do. And as you get more weapons, you'll have even more choices on which ones to use. So upgrade at your own discretion. You do not have to follow what I do.
Saving data.
Be sure to save your game before exiting. And we're going to head on out and continue to the left down the hallway. Over here, back behind those big boxes, are a few small crates that you can loot. And then we're going to go to the area where the marker is, and there are some gondolas here. they're all broken and malfunctioning, but
There's
we
no
kind
other
of don't
way
have a
forward.
choice. We have to
We
go
have to
through
take
here.
it.
Take it where?
Petrov escaped while working in Vavilov's cold workshop. It would be logical to begin our search there.
So, how do I get there?
First, we need to get to the distribution center. This cable car will take us there.
Now, as we come through this area, you'll see those gondolas just spinning. Don't forget to open up that chest. But as we continue on, you'll see that some of them are actually moving. They're not just spinning in place. They're coming back and forth from top to bottom. So do be aware. And you want to time when you move, if at all possible. And as soon as you can, get up on the side here, because the gondolas won't be able to knock you over if you're on the side. They have to stay on their track. Here I'm just scanning to make sure that I haven't missed any lootable items as I'm running down the side. Continuing on, we're avoiding the gondolas that are moving up and down
You can
the
swim through
lane.
polymer. I've done it before. It's nice, actually.
And in
Kinda
this
like swimming with whales
crack
and
in the
dolphins in the
floor
ocean.
here, there's a chest
So
that
peaceful.
we need to loot. Be careful in this area, because if the gondola is moving past and you're a little too close, it can hit you and do some pretty good damage to your health. There are a couple there's a couple of lootable boxes back here that you can grab before we move on to the next area. We're going to jump back into the crack and swim through the polymer, because there's no other way to get around. The polymer is kind of neat, but I have to say, I don't know yet because I haven't completed the game, but I think the fact that Nechayev can swim through it like this, I think this is another sign that something is not right with him. You're going to see these little things quite often.
Reboot the control system to reactivate
There's the control
the lock.
panel. And
Here
of
we
course
see
it's
that
locked.
there's a lock
You
we
guys just
can't
love
pick
these
yet.
things, don't you? This is a new one. A combination lock. It'd take me a year
We
to guess
need
the
to
combo.
ride this
Look
gondola,
around. Maybe someone
but
has
we
the
can't
code.
do that until we pick the lock and get into that booth.
What was that?
As you can see, there's nothing of interest over there. Just checking it out.
Comrades,
They won't go without the
Here,
schematic.
we are
Won't
going to
stop.
get our
No
very first
schematic.
Necromancer.
No go.
Fuck me.
We need
he's
to
alive.
talk to
Schematic.
every
Need a
necromancer in the
schematic.
game. Necromancers are
Unfortunately,
basically
he's dead.
people who have died,
We
who
are
have,
surrounded by corpses.
if you remember right in the
Frozen
beginning in
just like everything
Chalamet,
there.
there was a small table where you could get the little
The dead have
a
residual
nodule that attaches to your
neuropolymer
head,
memory are
and
capable of communicating
these
for some
people all
time
have
after
that.
death.
They died with it on, so they have neuropolymer in their brains that is enabling them to
Guys, I'll
continue
look for it.
thinking after death.
Maybe I
And the
should've said
little
thank you.
mechanism is doing it for them.
Holy
When you
shit,
talk
a
to
talking
necromancers, you want to
corpse.
make
What
sure
did you
and
say,
exhaust
Comrade
all
Major?
of
You
the
know, I fought
dialogue
in the
and
whole
don't
war from
skip.
beginning to end.
Let the
I've seen
dialogue
some
go
shit.
through
The talking
all the
corpses,
way.
That's a new one. How
For
the
some
fuck is this
reason,
even
some
possible?
necromancers
byproduct of lingering
won't
neuropolymer memory
register
activity.
that you actually spoke to
Everyone
them
killed here was
if you
polymerized.
don't
Their brains haven't
let the talking
decomposed.
play all the way through.
There it is.
So this guy has the code. You can see it on the piece of paper that's on the floor next to him. Just remember where the buttons are. Seems like they're always in the upper left quadrant.
Charles. So this isn't a dead person talking to me. It's the neuropolymer.
You can take a
in his
screenshot if
noggin,
you can't
right?
remember,
Crudely
but it is
speaking,
pretty
yes.
simple.
As it fades away, neuropolymer memory temporarily
And the door we went
stores
through,
the
we did shock it
individual's
in order to get
last
through it, in case
Creepy.
you didn't notice.
How long are they gonna
So
talk
now
for?
we can
thoughts. I can't
unlock
say
this
exactly. Somewhere between a minute and a couple of
this
days.
big lock.
but it seems
and you
the
want to
more
push the
time
buttons,
passes after
same
death, the
ones
more
that you
corrupt
saw
the
on the
information
paper
becomes.
in
I see.
the upper left
So the
quadrant.
stuff they're saying isn't always
Pretty
that
simple.
important. Poor
Now that the
bastards.
door to the booth is unlocked, we can push the button that will allow us to use the gondola, but first we want to go into this save room.
Please take your seats according
In
to
here,
your
there's another red chest
Sorry,
that's going to give
no
us
ticket.
blueprint number 4. This is another melee weapon, the fox. If you like to, you can craft it and use it. I don't, but feel free to do so. We do have lots of trophies associated with weapons. We need to craft 5 different types of weapons, and we do have to collect every weapon available in the game. Otherwise, you can check out your upgrades and see if there's anything that tickles your fancy.
Saving data.
Don't forget to save at the save station. And now we're going to go on a little gondola ride. And I do mean little, it's very short.
ready to depart. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Off we go.
Ugh, this tunnel's messed up. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
To the surprise of no one, this did not work the way we thought it would.
Fuck. I knew it was gonna be
Once
rough.
we finish the ride,
Shit.
we are going to have to
You
fight
again?
2 more
Careful.
Vovas.
There's a
These
gap
are
up
just
ahead.
regular
I see it.
white Vovas, not the ones in the black
We
suits.
need to find a way to move
Being that there are 2,
But
you
frankly,
may
I'm
want to
having trouble
use
figuring out how.
a
Climbing the
firearm.
wall. That's how.
It's completely up to you. At this point, we do have quite a surplus of shotgun ammo, so feel free to use that. It will dispatch them much quicker. And climb down into the pit, and then climb up the yellow pole. Unfortunately, this game does it tends to follow the yellow paint trope, which is disappointing, but it's not too bad, honestly. I've seen games that are much worse with the yellow paint. You know, you're just going to platform a little bit. There's really nowhere else for you to go, so the platforming section shouldn't be too difficult.
That was a surprise.
I agree.
We want to cross over, and you see the holes in the wall here? We want to wait. I think that machine, the snake-like machine, is called a Burov. They will eat a good chunk of your health if they hit you, so wait for him to pass
That was a Burov,
before
right?
continuing
A tunneling
on.
robot.
Indeed it was. Barovs
When we
can
get
drill
close
through
to
even
dropping
the
down
hardest
here,
minerals
you can
at
see
incredible speed. Soviet science
I got
has
down.
high
I
hopes
crouched
in
down
regard
to
our
avoid getting hit by that
inevitable conquest of all
Burov.
the planets in the
We're going to go
solar
through
system.
this hole in the wall to the left. And in this room, there are a few things to loot. And there's also Necromancer number 2 on the floor. So talk to him, exhaust his dialogue, and then we're going to enter the vent in the wall
Irony, comrade.
to our left. Once you enter the vent, there's not anywhere else to go but up, so we're going to jump up here. And once we get through this vent, you can see there's a black suited Vova. He's a really strong one. We're going to fight him from this vent so that he can't hit us, because there are 2 gondolas that are going crazy in here. Shocking him can be helpful because you can see the gondola just hit him. That actually will damage him. So if you can shock him, and push him out in front of the gondola. That's helpful. When you need to get down, keep an eye on where those gondolas are so that they don't hit you. And first chance you get, run from where you exit the gondola. We want to run to the left.
What a nice trip.
We go up this side walk here. There is a chest at the end that we can open. It doesn't have anything special in it, but we need all the parts that we can get. So I'm going to head back the way that we came and take a right. You can see a save room straight ahead. There's no magnets for us to use the shock to open up that door, so we're going to go into the save room. And again, we get a red chest in the corner. Make sure to open it to get blueprint number 5. And don't forget to save. And then we'll exit through the door on the side. And this is going to take us around the other side of that door that we can't shock to open. Here's a very brief cutscene.
Oh, a laser wall. That's some serious security. People put them up for a reason. If you see one, that means there's something important on the other side.
Once we come into this room on the side, just loot
The
everything.
distribution center we're looking for is, in fact, on the other side.
There's no way I'm making it through a laser wall in one piece.
Once we've finished in that room, we have to come here where the lasers are.
I was so lonely.
And you have to talk to Nora.
Just give me
And you have
laser
to get an
protection.
upgrade. It's a free upgrade. It doesn't cost any neuropolymer,
Squirt your
but we have to have it.
All right, I get it. You'll get your polymer and your precious components. Just install the laser protection already.
Whatever you say, stud. Upgrade initiated. Relax and enjoy. Just
Your defense system is active.
Once you've completed what you have to do that's story related, you can come back in and upgrade whatever you like at the Nora station. In the character, like where you go to upgrade your glove, where it says character, there are a lot of really, really useful upgrades here. So as you can see, we're going to have to go through the lasers, and we have exactly 1 health left. So we're going to use a couple of these capsules to get our health back. But at least we didn't die like that poor fella that went through there. I know, I'm so corny. I'm sorry.
Are you okay? Is everything ready? Did you pull it off?
Intrusion! Warning. Hey, freeze!
After that cutscene plays out, we have to make sure you scan these little, I don't know if they're owls or wasps. We need to scan those. And then I think there are 3 Vovas that come and attack us. Oh, it's 4. There's 4 Vovas. So you may want to take your shotgun out because having 3 of them on you at once, it's quite a hassle. So don't be afraid to use that shotgun.
pretty good at ordering those robots around. It's almost like they're his property. And he locked the goddamn
Be sure
door.
and loot all of the bodies before moving on. And where that tree is in the middle of the room, there is a Chirper. Chirper number 8
I'll find another one.
is
There's got to be more than one
right
candle in
there
this
next to
complex,
the
right?
tree on the bench.
Otherwise, Petrov will escape the sector and we'll have to track him down again.
Attention all co-workers. Please listen to this chirper and leave it where it is. Its purpose is to remind everyone not to take plant specimens home under any
So here,
circumstances,
as you can see, we
including
need an
extremely
item
harmless ones.
in order to open up
Flowers
this
from the
door.
labs may have built-in
It's
genetic
called a
traits
candle.
that will have
It's
a
basically a
negative effect on your
round
quality of life.
yellow
If it's
goldish
grown in the
ball
lab, it stays in
that
the
produces
lab.
some sort of energy
Period.
that unlocks the door. We're going to have to use these candles several times throughout the game. I think the developers really liked the mechanic used for that. So we're going to go up the opposite
Charles, what's
steps.
that
This
birch
door
tree
is
encased in
open.
glass in the room down there? Is it the
In
famous
this room,
PEG-4
loot
power
everything.
generator?
Indeed it is. The birch tree PEG-4 is a vegetative polymer-based power generator. It's an experimental model. The
And
first
we
step of
have
program
our
to conquer the distant
polymerization
planets of the solar
trophy
system.
here. This you'll get randomly throughout your playthrough. It is for collecting 100 neuropolymers. So you can get it at any point in your playthrough. I just so happen to get it here. We also have Necromancer number 3 here on the floor. Be sure to exhaust all of the dialogue
Got it.
before moving on.
Understood.
Now we need to go up into this vent. There's nowhere else that we can go. I don't know why I went that way. It's just a corpse there. Anyway, we're going to drop down into this room. There are a few things to loot, but make sure and go to the body that is sitting in the chair and grab this weapon. This is our third free weapon in the game. It's our handgun. Over on the table with the red cloth is Chirper number 9.
No, you're twisting my
Do not
words,
forget
Doc.
that as you're looting
I
the
never
room.
said I was smarter than them. But you said. No,
Now we will
said
get a
that if I
blueprint
had the
for
same
this handgun
opportunities and
later
resources
as
they do,
well.
I'd accomplish
But
just as much as they
why not
have,
just take the free
if
one?
not more.
I'm sure you saw where the Chirper was. There is a candle. The yellow goldish ball. It has the marker right there. But we need to unlock the door before we grab the candle. So we're going to go over to this door and unlock it.
I want us all to be genuinely equal.
This is the same
But
type
that's enough.
of lock that
We've
we
talked
had
about this
before,
100 times and you still
where you
don't
snap
believe
your
me.
fingers
It's
and
a
you want to
waste of
turn
time.
all the light
Guard,
screen
we're
to
done
unlock
here.
it. Once we're done with that, we're going to go back, grab the candle, and we can't touch it. We
So,
have to use the glove
do I
to
always
move
have
it
to carry it like
telekinetically.
this?
The candle is a
So just be a little bit
complex,
careful.
unstable piece of equipment. It cannot be stowed
Once
in
you
your backpack
grab the
along with your
item,
other items.
you can let,
There
I
is
think
a
it's
high
R1 that you
probability
use,
of
you can
mutual
let that go and you'll
destructuralization.
still hold on
Like
to it and you
an
won't let it
explosion?
go until
Not
you push R1
necessarily,
again.
But the candle would be disabled.
So I'll have
But
to carry
still,
it like
just
this.
be
Got it.
careful
The
because
candle is
sometimes
quite
it doesn't
durable.
always register.
You can drop
We
it
need to
or
get
even
that
throw
into
it
this
intentionally.
little
Nothing will
semicircle
happen to it.
to unlock the door. In this room, you want to loot everything. There are lots and lots and lots of things to loot. But there's only one way to go. So just grab everything and then we'll exit around the other side of the room. The little forklifts, you can shock them. That's why they have the little triangles on there. You can shock them and they'll either move their fork up or down or pause it, but we don't need to do that. Here we're just going to wait for this one to move its boxes and then crawl underneath so that it doesn't hit us. And right to the left of where we're standing is a save room.
That sounds like Petrov's voice. I hope that asshole's brains didn't get splattered all over the floor.
So we're going to head on into this save room. There'll be a chest with blueprint number 6 inside. And then you can use your Nora for any upgrades you might like. There's also, if you see at the top, you can push R1 to go over to upgrade or storage and disassembly. And if you have doubles of any weapons, you can disassemble them and get the parts. Or you can go through your inventory and move items into or out of your storage. So don't forget about that. Sometimes you can get bogged down with items. And we're going to end this video here. Thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this walkthrough. And I can't wait to see you all again in part 3. Until then, Khajiit always has wares.